So welcome to Lessons for the Entrepreneur. Today on set, I have Collins Wanyonyi from the Stanbic Bank. He's going to talk about how SMEs can tap into some of the financial opportunities that they have at the bank, grow their business, maybe scale up the operations, and see how best to do this. Mr. Collins, welcome to this segment of the business news. Perhaps by way of introduction, you need to tell us what it is that at Stanbic Bank you do, especially to empower the SMEs.
Thank you, and thank you for having me on your show. This is Collins Wanyonyi. I head the enterprise banking segment within Stanbic Bank Kenya. And what we offer our SMEs is supply chain management for their business. And we also provide them beyond banking. That will be capacity building and just some bit of information for their businesses.
So when people talk about money and getting money from financial institutions, we tend to squander this money. So we want to believe that organizations like yours are here to help us to manage it. Not just borrow, get, and then return as loans, for example, but also to manage it. Do you have the capacity building initiatives that help SMEs to do this better?
Yes, we do have a number of items that we do. So I'll step you back a little bit. So as Stanbic Bank, we pride on the policy that Kenya is our home.
Yes.
We drive her growth. And for us, as we deal that piece, SMEs become the focus areas that we must address. And when we look at SMEs, we focus on three pillars. So the first one is access to their banking and banking services in general. And that looks at what you've just talked about, whether they're able to get the loans, whether they're able to make their payments and collection of their funds. The second focus pillar that we look at is access to information. And the Purchase Market Index is one source of information that here I want to bring to ask our viewers to just look at that. And the last piece is access to markets. I think once these three pillars are put together, it reminds me of the African stool, the three-legged stool.
The three-legged, oh, nice, I like that. Okay, so we talk about the access to markets. As entrepreneurs, when we get our goods out, we need to know where to sell this out. So do you do access for internally or regionally or across? Take us through a bit of that.
We look at access for markets from three levers. So it will be local, it will be regional, and it will be international. I'll break that up. At a local level, we are looking at within the Kenyan boundaries, how are we able to support our SMEs to position their tools of trade to potential buyers of whether goods or services. And we use that through marketplace, what we call the marketplace. Our best example is several times in a year, we use our parking space at the bank to provide that as a marketplace for our SMEs.
So
I always remember
they come to interact with each other, share ideas.
We create sheds, we create stalls for the SMEs to just come and trade. Just the way you'll see at the High Court. We've done that for SMEs who bank with us. Regionally, Stanbic Bank is present in East Africa. Actually, we're present in 20 countries in Africa. But if I look at regionally, what we call East Africa is Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, and Malawi. So within our borderless banking, we give SMEs interactive engagement across these four markets. Borderless banking gives you three pillars. The first one is impeccable customer service. So as I sit in Nairobi as head of enterprise banking, I know my counterpart in Uganda are on a camper. So if I get Melissa today who wants to transact with Stanbic in Kenya or Uganda, you have a seamless experience while in Nairobi or while in Kampala.
So we talk about the digital spaces that we're operating in. Of course, a lot of us would be starting to ask questions like how safe is our money when trading digitally? Talk about us. How safe is our money when you do these digital transactions?
I'll start by saying I think the last 3 years, Kenya was ranked as the safest bank in Africa. Stanbic Bank was, not Kenya, Stanbic Bank was anchored as the safest bank in Africa for the last 3 years. We start by anchoring that you're dealing with a safe bank. And all our online banking platforms have three levels of authentication. So certainly nobody can crack all the three levels to get your money. Whether
within or into the regional market.
Exactly.
So how do we compare the SME sector in Kenya compared to the rest of the region? How do we compare? Are we doing better? Are we handling the money better? Are we growing better? What would be your input on this? How are we doing? How are we performing?
If you look at the number of innovation hubs sitting within Nairobi as a space, tells you that SMEs in Kenya are more advanced compared to the other markets because those innovation spaces is where technology is built.
Yes.
And how Stanbic has plugged into this is we've created an account specifically for startups, which we call the Tech Connect.
Okay.
And Tech Connect is an account was designed specifically for startups. I think when you look at any person who's been in technology, when they start, probably they always have their MacBook and their brains.
Yes, yes.
But they need to be supported to develop the biggest of the solutions. So what Stanbic has done has created a solution for Tech Connect for the startup SMEs. And when we're doing our feasibility study on how to solve for them, one of the lessons that we picked is there's something called the valley of death, where you're just at the right nudge to crack your business, but no one wants to look at you twice. The financier. So Stanbic then has come to anchor towards solving for this. What else have we done towards that space? We've had technology sessions in most of the 3 major universities. I think we did one at KCA University. We did another one at Strathmore University. I think we also did another one at USIU.
Okay.
And this is where most of this technology business starts from. At the education level.
So if everybody wants to get into a space where, we're doing a regular job, and then at night you want to do your side hustle, and it's on the digital platform, can they also tap into that?
Exactly. Yes, you can.
Okay.
So that's one of the areas that we as Stanbic Bank provide a platform for you to be able to tack it. I think somebody said, it was Bob Collymore who said Kenyans have peculiar habits. So it's these peculiar habits that we say almost every Kenya has a side hustle. So we're happy to plug in to solve.
Awesome. So we talked a bit off camera when we talk about the agribusiness and those kinds of businesses and how Stanbic comes in to help them. So if I'm a farmer and I have identified the kind of things I want to do, perhaps a greenhouse, and I want to come to you to scale up my business, how can you help me navigate that landscape?
As I unpack our agribusiness story, I think it's also good to just step back and say, as we look at Kenya being our home and driving our growth, Stanbic Bank has decided to focus on what we've called 6 personas. So agribusiness is one of the 6.
Okay.
And the other 5 being data in business, education, health, and the trader. I think the word hustler in Kenya has become fashion to say for the trader.
We will put a greenhouse in our backyard.
Thank you. So I want to pick 2 agricultural ecosystems that we've been able to solve. And the first one is tea. So where does tea story start from? It starts from the farmer. So this tea farmer supplies his tea to a tea producing company that goes to a tea broker before it meets the international market. So Stanbic Bank has developed a customer value proposition that provides financing of up to 200,000 shillings on a secured basis to the tea farmer. We are also financing the tea broker in Mombasa through our board to export their tea to the Egyptian market amongst others. So if you then look at that value chain, I'm solving for the small farmer by providing them finance to keep the tea bushes running. I'm also financing the tea broker in Mombasa to have enough money to keep the stores running. So that ensures that when this tea leaves the farm, it's able to get to the final consumer. Just through the Stanbic value chain, supporting the agribusiness.
Okay, and do you have any scope of the agribusiness you take care of? Anybody can come in and come?
Anybody can come in. So we are able, so Stanbic seats are within 3 levers. So based on your business turnover, we have a corporate business that looks at the large corporates. With no bias, Sassinity. I would just say it's Sassini, I don't know why. So that will be able to sit within that corporate space. I'm not saying Sassini backs with us. I've just said Sassinity for example, because it's the top of mind. Then you have a middle tier, what we call corporate banking. And corporate will be a middle tier between what is large corporate and then the smaller SMEs. And then we have the SME business, which will then be your smaller sized business. Across all these business levels, we have a dedicated relationship manager that will take care of your business. So whoever sits within that
is taken care of in that ecosystem. All right. So March being the International Women's Month, and you have the data facility. Talk a bit about that in terms of how women can plug into the SME ecosystem and tap into what benefits that Stanbic Bank has?
Thank you for that. We've looked at women banking through the lens of DADA. And that is an abbreviation that stands for Dare to Aspire, Dare to Achieve.
Not DADA sister.
Not DADA sister. DADA is actually an abbreviation of Dare to Aspire, Dare to Achieve.
Okay.
And if I step back a number of years ago, maybe just after independence, any woman registering a business either registered as wife of or daughter of.
Yeah.
So you're coming from that lens of trying to empower this woman to get access to building their capacity. So we've adopted the AFAWA description for women in business. So our data in business adopts the IFC AFAWA, then classifies the woman in business into 4 categories. Either more than 50% shareholding, or at least 30% of senior leadership being women. The third one is producing a woman-exclusive use product. And the fourth one is 70% of the staff base being women. So once you fit that category, we'll treat you as a data in business.
Okay.
Now, what are we providing to our dadas in business? We have 3 anchors that we provide for them. One is capacity building, training and development to make them better and make them understand how to run their business well. The second piece is, I'll go back to the access to markets. We've been able to provide women to, and I think 3 examples that I'll give, I think is one of our beneficiaries through the Stanbic Kenya Foundation. That we supported her to produce her goods locally with a group of women, and she exports some of those classy bags and the likes. I would wish to name her name here, but without her consent, I won't. But then the last piece that we also then do is financing women. One of the best things we've done for women is, while the general community is getting a loan, say at 20%, I'm just giving an interest rate, we are giving women 1% less, just to support the women to build up on their business. And more so, we're also waiving facility fees for all the loans that we're giving access to women.
Oh, wow. Will the men then feel that you're unfairly advantageous to the women? And yet we're crying out, boy child, favor us, boy child.
Will you feel angry when I give your mother an extra benefit?
Okay. right lenses. So thank you so much for those insights and so much more. I would probably ask you one last question. In terms of the SMEs, what are some of the areas in your, as you look at them, as you take care of their financial needs and their networking and the market needs that they have, what are some of the areas that you feel are underutilized by the SME in Kenya, that they should actually take advantage of them to grow and scale their businesses far beyond what they're doing currently?
There are various tools that have been provided by various stakeholders in this country for us to be able to, for SMEs to grow. I think, I'm not speaking this on behalf of the government, but I think institutions like KIRDI provide space for SMEs who don't have equipment to run some production in their own outfits, to go and take space, maybe for a day or 2, to just produce a certain batch of goods. We have KIE that also has sheds that you can use on short-term basis for you to just go in and be able to produce your goods. So the government has provided tools and facilities that you can be able to access and get production. I think the last one is KIEP, which is also another government initiative that is supporting SMEs, giving them capacity building and giving them funding to just build their businesses. So there are these tools that are available for SMEs to plug in. Unfortunately, not all of our SMEs are plugging into those opportunities.
So we should tap into them, grow, scale, network, perhaps get better markets for our products, Okay.
And just one last thing, if you look at what we've done at Stanbic Bank, if you visit our website, we've got tools of knowledge on our websites that any SME can log on to our website and peruse through some of those documentation that we provide. And just last but not least, the Purchase Market Managers Index. I don't know how many SMEs are plugging into this report that comes monthly, that they can use that information to decide which shape and form their business takes within the next month.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Collins Wanyonyi from Stanbic Bank. He can talk on and on and on. This is his forte. We thank you for the moments you have spent with us here to talk about how SMEs can actually leverage on the financial resources that your bank is offering.